A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone present here based on your different time zones. Today, first of all, I would shower immense gratitude to each one of y'all for joining us here today and showing very keen interest towards this camp. We as a team ensure that you solicit a pack full of valuable learnings from the Stellar Camp while addressing most of your queries throughout the discussion. With that, I would like to introduce myself, followed by my other colleague, Neha Gaba. My name is Pallavi, your immediate POC at the hour of need. While having very good experience in Google Ads from a long time now, and also coming from an agency background, I do understand the challenges you face that while working on the ads interface. And that's where Neha and I together would mediate your expectations with our valuable learnings. Now, before we begin, I would pass it on to Neha to quickly introduce yourself and then we can get started. Over to you, ma'am.
Thanks, Pallavi. First of all, I would like to welcome everyone. My name is Neha Gaba. I do have an experience of more than 6 years into the digital marketing domain. I'll be the co-hosting the PMax knowledge depths. And during this camp, my primary purpose is to assist and provide the information to the best of my knowledge. Having said that, if you have any queries, any question, please drop your queries in the comment chat box. If you're joined from the ads on air, if you're if you're joined from the YouTube, please drop your comments. We'll try our best to address your queries. Thank you. Over to you, Palvi.
Thank you so much, Neha. Now, again, we have some exciting opportunities for our attendees today. First, we invite you to attend an upcoming session of the Meet the PMs. This small bespoke session is designed to chat with the PMs, the product managers, for some of the most influential products and features. Right, this is truly a rare opportunity, and we hope you take full advantage of this. Next, we invite you to join our community of product experts. This is a very vibrant community of super users who play a very critical role in the Google ecosystem. And lastly, what some of you are most excited about is the Google Swag. Engage with us through this live stream over the next 1 hour. Ask us questions, give us product feedback, and then prizes will go to the folks who both engage during the session and also fill out feedback via the form linked here in the QR code. Okay, the very important. Please use this QR code or the link on chat to fill out the form with a valid CID and email address. In order to qualify for anything you see here on the screen, we need two things. One is the CID and other is the email address. So I would quickly request each one of you all to kindly take out your mobile phone and scan the QR code. I'll give you another 30 seconds and then we'll move forward. All right, let's get started. Today, we've got a bunch of very interesting content lined up for you. We talk about Performance Max campaign, followed by understanding the different marketing objectives. What are the optimization and insights part under the Performance Max campaign? How do you usually ensure that the campaign is delivering the best possible results? And lastly, we also going to talk about the feed optimizations and certain best practices under the Performance Max campaign as a whole. Moving ahead, let's talk about how the entire market space looks like, right? So a consumer today has more options than ever before. They have more ways to get inspired or to research before making a final decision. In fact, the needs and preferences of individuals can be very, very unpredictable. So, if I talk about myself as a consumer, I have more options now to get inspired for a particular product, explore multiple ways of buying them, like online or offline, from multiple outlets, thereby picking the right product for myself amidst the entire competitive market. The availability of all these multiple options in the market is changing the entire user behavior rapidly. With all these changes and challenges, leading marketers are asking themselves, how can we be so sure that we drive the most optimal performance at Google? We believe the answer is clearly with Performance Max. By utilizing a new digital ecosystem, Performance Max uses the expertise of Google's AI in combination with your input, thereby helping you gain a much more competitive advantage. Now, while the digital only footprints hold opportunity, one of the key challenges is that user behavior on digital landscape does continue to expand. This particular study notes that 500 plus touchpoints before purchase is larger and is growing in number than a manual campaign optimization. And it can actually no longer manage or scale against customers' constant move across different channels. Now, this slide shows a very beautiful evolution of where we have come from through in the last 15-20 years of running shopping ads in Google. When a standard shopping campaign was introduced a few years back, feed driven search intent based ads were being popped up, consisting only of the first two properties that we see, shopping and search. And then with smart shopping campaigns that came around 2018 to 2022, we are now showing ads in three other properties additionally, which are Gmail, Display, and YouTube. With Performance Max that was introduced last year, we have added a notch higher by showing ads in the last two properties as well, that is Discovery and Maps. To summarize, we have evolved from two properties to five and now to seven. This means that our campaigns are now cross channel in nature, giving you the opportunity to buy ads from a single campaign across all Google properties, helping you to drive more online sales, leads, or even store visits. Before I go ahead, I would request you all to quickly share your queries on chat and we will be glad to address them on the call. Now, how does Performance Max help you? How does a marketer ensure that he or she is reaching its target group at the right place and at the right time? There are three ways in which Performance Max actually helps you answer these questions. First, it helps you have multiple conversations or multiple connections with the users in the form of interacting with them at multiple touchpoints at the search, shopping, display, discovery, or network using the Google Ads inventory. You can also multiply your conversions and conversion value by optimizing for the highest ROAS conversion opportunities. Having the campaign set to run in all channels while using all inventories, whichever inventory has the highest ROI conversion possibility will be optimized. Now, there are ways through which you can actually analyze the performance drivers of your client's business. You can create insights on the highest performing products or asset groups and suggest your clients certain best practices to capitalize on them. And these insights will set a platform for you to plan on your next campaign structure accordingly. Next, we're going to talk about how is the generic idea. I mean, what is the generic idea across starting a performance max campaign from the scratch, right? So there are a few steps enlisted here, and starting with which starts with defining a goal based on your business model, followed by opting into the Performance Max campaign, and then determining appropriate budget and bid strategy in the form of target ROAS or CPA. Along with that, adding a few low hanging settings like geolocation, conversion actions, and a bunch of other things are also advisable. Number five includes adding a bunch of assets like text, images, videos, headlines, descriptions, etc. All of that, and audience signals as well, which allows you to add more audience cohorts, which you believe the system should go after based on the observation and targeting mode. Lastly, we have adding in a few extensions at a campaign or an asset group level for better performance. Now, here is a list of certain prerequisites that you should keep handy or follow before launching the Performance Max campaign, right? So, this call is on a recording, and I'm pretty sure you all will have access to this entire deck. You all can refer to the specific slide where you have all the specific prerequisites. We have the conversion tracking, then we have text assets, image assets, and video assets. Each one of these have a specific requirement which need to be catered. Right now, we're going to talk about a performance max campaign for the different marketing objectives that you have based on your business goal, right? So, all of us would agree that as marketers, we aspire to have multiple goals, like If you remember, I mentioned that there are a set of marketing objectives for which Performance Max is a good fit, while for a few it's not suggested. Now, the three different objectives for which it is actually a good fit are online sales, store visits, and lead generation. So, whether your goal is to sell online, drive requests for quotes, or trying to get more foot traffic to your storefront, Performance Max is the newest way to drive more of these to your business, right? You can also wish to create multiple PMax camp for each marketing objective. But to highlight the power of Performance Max campaign, one campaign can have multiple marketing objectives being optimized for at any given point of time. Again, now each marketing objective will have different procedures to set up the conversion action and the bidding strategy. To clarify, for online sales, PMax not only functions for the retail business but for travel goals as well. There are certain notable features and a few suggested strategic roles for each of these objectives that you can refer offline. The important aspect that I wanted to throw light upon is the auto migration feature for each of these objectives. Now, while we see that the migration feature is not available for lead gen campaign, it is available for both online and offline sales. Again, under online sales, the option is available only if it's a retail business. But if the campaign is objective to meet travel goals, then creating a new performance max altogether is advisable. Another new feature that we have within Performance Max campaign is the new customer acquisition mode. This feature helps you expand your audience base by bringing in new set of customers rather than retargeting the ads to the same set of audiences in the upper funnel of the consumer journey, right? And based on our internal analysis, it has been deduced that advertisers using this feature improve the new customer ratio by around 13% with a reduced acquisition cost of around 19%, right? Now, while we know how different Performance Max campaign is from the rest of the campaign's search display discovery, the key feature that we are aware of is its potential to target multiple channels from a single campaign. With that, Performance Max also has the power to utilize the cross channel bidding mechanism in a more optimized manner. You may see an unexpected channel to deliver you better results compared to a previous campaign which was only focusing on a single channel with optimized bid strategy, right? Now, while creating the Performance Max campaign, what matters also is the quality of inputs that you actually feed into your campaign. Since it is an auto generated campaign completely on smart mode, human intervention here in combination with all of these smartness plays a very crucial role, right? So under each of these buckets, you need to follow a certain prerequisites. For budgeting, make sure that you allow for budget fluidity and adopt cross-channel bidding to maximize budget agility. Under bidding, add more of conversion value rules and also adopt the value-based bidding. For audiences, make sure that you're expanding your audience horizon as much as possible. Have different set of audience signals based on your campaign objective, right? And under creatives and insights, you have more form of reports getting generated. You have additional level of insights that can be deduced under the insights part in Performance Max campaign, wherein you can understand what the competitors are doing, what level of keywords are being triggered, whether those keywords are being performed or not. All of these insights altogether will help you understand and analyze your current campaign, and then based on which you can take strategic business decisions and work towards optimizing the campaign, right? Now, here we're going to talk about Performance Max campaign for lead generation, right? It is always advisable not to replace your search keyword campaign within Performance Max as not advisable to replace your search campaign with the Performance Max, as you may risk losing your historical data in terms of in terms of reach and performance, right? Now, practitioners and campaign managers should actually continue running their primary lead gen campaign and prioritize maximizing opportunities on these formats. But for those who are already ready to go an extra mile ahead, they should run a performance max campaign parallel to their primary lead gen campaign. So, to conclude, both a search campaign and a performance max campaign, if run together for lead gen, will actually deliver better results through automation and also unlock cross channel inventory while meeting your CPA and ROAS targets. Moving ahead, we see the adoption of the conversion value rules for driving high quality leads, right? Now, applying each of these rules on your first party audience list, geolocation, and devices provide higher value to your business that isn't reflected into your account, but optimizing it on a real time basis will give you much better results. The ML algorithm will automatically prioritize these set of filters and target such value audiences to deliver better results. Next, we have Performance Max for store goals. Uh, Now, this digital product is designed exclusively to maximize shoppers in your store. It caters to the right person, customers who are more likely to visit your business, the right time, which is triggered by user intent, local search queries, and also device or distance to your business location. And then you have right message, which talks about standard assets that Google optimizes for store goals. And lastly, the right platform, by running on platforms that provide incremental reach to your campaign. Now, this store goal objective within your Performance Max campaign can maximize traffic for all locations, support specific locations, and also diverse store visits through product showcasing. Now, most of the business owners have few common questions like how can they drive more traffic when their annual sale is coming up? What should they do to drive more offline visits and sales? And that they need to drive store visits because offline customers are more valuable to them, specifically during a particular season. And the answer here again lies with Performance Max for store goals. This campaign will actually help you fulfill all these queries by optimizing them for better performance. So with that, we have discussed the objectives around. We have discussed two objectives, that is marketing performance max for store goals and also for offline visits, right? Moving ahead, I would like to pass it on to Neha, and she'll be talking about online sales in details. So over to you, Neha.
Thanks, Pallavi. So I just wanted to pick over a couple of things where my colleague left over to discuss in detail about the store goals objective where PMax can be a right fit for. Now here, where you can see is that, as mentioned, that it should be there at it cater to the right person at the right time with the right message at the right platform. There are three important key objectives or the strategies where you would feel like that the PMAX store objectives would be fit for. Now, one is driving the maximum traffic across the store locations. Now, for example, you own a store and you feel like that there is an annual sale coming up or a holiday season coming up, and you have been getting the footfall from a very longer period of time, and hence you just want to have the footfall all across your different stores in all the geolocations. In that case, you can create a PMax campaign. The other is, let's suppose you have opened a new store and you want a specific location, and you want that the people should visit that new online store or offline store. For that, you can create a PMax for that particular geographical area. Third is here is the most important one. Let's just say, for example, you have launched a particular vehicle. If you're into automobile industry, if you have launched into a device, you have launched new device, or if you're in a restaurant business, there is a new menu coming up. In that particular case, you wanted to have a more footfall for that particular product showcasing. In that case, you can create a PMax campaign store goals, where the objective or the strategy would be to drive sale visits through the product showcasing. Now, when we discuss about the maximum traffic across all the locations, there are different use cases. Now, in this particular use case, is that I need to drive the visits because the offline store customers are more valuable to me. Let's suppose you feel like, as compared to the online stores, when the users visit your particular store, they have the higher chances to convert and you would get a higher ROI. In that particular case, what you would do is have the PMAX store goals and you can target all your store goals. Second, as I mentioned before, let's say for example, there is a telco. In that particular case, there's an annual sale coming up. In the annual sale, when it is coming up, you want the footfall across all the stores in all different geolocations. Now, third is the most generic one, what I can do to drive my offline visits and stores. Now, this in that particular case also, what I would request is to create a PMax campaign. Now, just let's suppose in order to track the signups for any premium offerings, also, this can be another goal, which can where you could create a PMax campaign for the store goals. Now, moving ahead with another objective, that is the performance max campaign for the online sales. Now, for the online sales, I just wanted to bring into your notice that when we created a PMax campaign for the specifically for the online sales, it has been observed that uh, that the advertisers who use the PMax campaign in the account has received 18% more conversions at a similar CPA, that is cost acquisition. So, in a nutshell, it would increase that there was an average increase of 13% conversions, which we saw previously. Moving on, now having said that, when we discuss about the online sales and the migration that has been already done from a SaaS shopping campaign to the PMax campaign, we'll lay out what additions or enhancements were made in order to reach these results. Now, as we have discussed about the traditional campaigns, that is SSC, PMax campaign is the upgrade of a standard shopping campaign. Now, when you look at these four pillars such as inventory, formats, bidding and control, transparency, you may observe that under that pillar of inventory there is a addition in addition to search, display and window ads. Now you can target, as Pallavi mentioned, you can target different channels from a single campaign, that is discovery, display, maps and Gmail. So in that particular case, now you have a leverage of showcasing your ads on a discovery, DSA, YouTube and map ads. Having said that, when you have the leverage of showcasing these ads on all the platforms, now you would showcase these particular ads into the specific ad formats. Now, the key important thing you would notice here is the bid strategy. Now, what you can do is, now you can opt for maximize conversion with the target CPA bidding strategy. Let's suppose you have received 30 plus conversions and you know the target, the CPA that you've been getting. Now you can use that particular bidding strategy and then optimize as per your business goals. Now, the most important questions that come up in the practitioner mind is, now this is a PMax campaign, this is a fully automated campaign. How will I able to control this campaign? And it would go into its all directions. But there's a good news for you that there are audience signals which you can give to the PMax campaign. In order to giving that signals, what would happen is the Google AI and ML will understand that these are the audiences are which are resonating more with your business, and these are the type of audiences, then similar audiences, they would figure it out and cater your ads to those users which are more likely to convert. Moving on, now there is a one more feature, that is new customer acquisition. Let's suppose your client or you have this goal that you just wanted to cater or you want to acquire only new customers. For that, you can create a PMax campaign. In the PMax campaign, you can select the new customer acquisition. That means it would only focus on acquiring the new customers. Now, what would happen here when you opt for this NCA goal? It would acquire new customers through the Google Ads campaign by letting you express your acquisition objectives. and then hence optimizing your campaign towards that objective. Now, according to the data, it has been also observed that while using this new customer acquisition mode, the ROAS was improved by 9%, and the reduced the cost per acquisition of new customers by 7%. So this is one of the key important feature you can take the leverage of if you really want to focus more about only new customers. Now, moving on, there is um, a key ask in most of the practitioners: what if we are running a PMax campaign, and since it is been targeting on all Google Ads inventory, can we pause the other campaigns? Our recommendation is, let's suppose you're running any campaign and you're running it with a search campaign as well. Now, in that particular case, when you're testing this Performance Max campaign, it is imperative for you to keep your search campaign, or do not replace your search keyword campaign with Performance Max campaign. Use search campaign as your primary campaign and PMax campaign as an additional layer over the top of search campaigns. Now, what would happen there is, now search campaign will act as your primary campaign, whereas all the other Google inventories would be targeted by PMax campaign, and it would give more conversions in addition to the conversions you were already getting from your traditional campaigns. And hence, it would drive more conversions and more conversion value and bring more ROAS to your business. Moving on, now, discussing about PMax campaign is been more specifically been used as an upgrade of SSA campaign. So, in that particular case, a large part of practitioners belong to a e-commerce category. And there are upcoming sales coming up in this festive season. Now, when we discuss about the upcoming sales, there are certain best practices that you need to follow when you are running a PMax campaign. Now, here is the most important thing is, when there's a holiday season coming up, you should ensure that your promotional assets and the creatives are being added in the asset group 2 to 3 weeks before the active sale period. Now, what would happen here is, it has been observed that the user are more likely to convert. First of all, why we need to add 2 to 3 weeks before? Now, what would happen is, it would give Google backend a learning process to approve those creatives. You can create that asset group 2 to 3 weeks before, pause it, and when there is an active sale period, you can enable them. Now, while you're creating this asset group for a specific holiday season period, now it is important, while you're creating assets, you should use good visual assets, because as we all know, we are more attracted, the attention span increases when there are good visual added and a proper video added, and kindly prioritize those for a better conversions. Now, as I've mentioned before, also, you should take the leverage of power pairing strategy. That is, you should club the search campaign with the PMax campaign in order to capture the maximum growth. Now, discussing about the bids and budgets, you should use the conversion based strategies, that is, maximize conversions, and value based bidding strategies such as maximize the target ROAS, target CPM, and the campaigns, one important thing during the holiday season, the campaign should not be budget constrained, and hence they would be allowed to their deliver it at a maximum potential. Secondly, you should take advantage of the seasonality adjustments feature also. Moving on, now when we discuss about this PMax campaign, lot of the things that come in our mind is how we can optimize this campaigns, and then we can analyze and drive the results and make changes accordingly. Now, there are a couple of things when we discuss about the Performance Max campaign. Now, we have discussed, as per we discussed before, how you can create a Performance Max campaign. Now, there are specifically tools that are designed to make your work more effective and efficient when you plan and execute these campaigns. Let's suppose during the planning process, you're creating a PMax campaign. Now, you can take leverage of tools such as Performance Planner, You can use video creation tool, as I've mentioned before that it is important to give a video creative asset while adding into the asset group. Now there's a OptiScore recommendations. When you hover over to the recommendations tab and click on from a PMax campaign, it would give you the recommendations you can take leverage of to improve your overall performance of the campaign. Now, second, now if you're running a business at a much larger scale and you are required to make changes at a regular basis, so it would become very hazard to do that manually, single-handedly in single campaign. In that case, you can take leverage of APIs, Google Ads Editor, and then run scripts to implement those changes in the one go. Then moving to the most strategic part is the post the planning and execution is to review the campaign, monitor what is the scope of improvement, what A/B testing techniques you can follow in order to tap and test the opportunities of growth. Now, there are certain features such as experiments where you can test these opportunities. You can go into the Google Ads interface towards the left hand side, and when you scroll down, you would see the experiments part. You can apply those experiments if you feel like while A/B testing that particular experiment aligned with your marketing objective and goal. You can apply that. And then again, having said that, there are OptiScore recommendations for the upliftment of campaign health. And towards the end, when the overall marketing campaign is being created, there comes the most strategic again part is the analysis and the insight section. The insight section will discuss in detail how you can take benefit and take leverage of optimize your campaign at the full potential. Now in that particular case, uh, if there are certain changes and if you observe there are certain changes that have been required, you can implement those. Now, moving on, when we discuss about the campaign optimization and the whole circle of from planning, execution, monitoring, and analyzing, what would help the most of the practitioner think about is the output. Now, in order to understand what would be our output is, it is strategic and significant for you to give the proper signals while you're creating a performance max campaign. Now, in order to do and perform the campaign at the full potential, there are four ways to complete the cycle. First is goal definition. As mentioned, in order to create a performance max campaign, you need to first set the marketing objective of your performance max campaign, that is online sales, offline sales, and lead generation, where the performance max campaign is the best fit for. And then it is segregated into further different parts, that is data, creative, speed, and forecast settings. Now, to begin with, while we are defining your goals, it is important for you to give audience signals. Let's suppose you assume that this is a particular target niche of your audiences. You would give the Google or the PMax campaign the audience a list of audience signals which resonates with your business. It would let the system understand and explore further opportunities and tap those particular users who are more likely to convert for you. So it is recommended and it is important for you to give the audience signals. Once you all do that, there are certain things which is important for you to give is the conversion value to your respective products or services. Let's suppose you're running a online sales. In that online sales, you give the conversion value actions goals as dynamic, because the e-commerce may vary and the conversion value may be different. Let's suppose for the lead generation, you give the static conversion value. For the sign-ups, you give $15. For the contacts, people who click on the contact and call you up for the a particular product or services, you give 10. So that is a static one. But it would be important for you to give a proper conversion value action goals to these conversion action goals. Now, once we do that, you need to see that their conversion tracking is accurate. You should go for enhanced conversion also in order to have the accuracy of your conversion tracking. Now, again, once this is whole cycle been set up, while you're creating a PMax campaign, in the creatives, you should add the creatives such as images, videos, business logos, and the business name. Now, in case of an e-commerce category, it is important for you to first link your merchant center with your Google Ads account, and then when we need and you need to add those product feeds in while you're running a PMax campaign, and it is important and that you should regularly monitor the product feed in that. Moving on, we have to set the budgets and bidding strategies, optimize for the customer acquisition if you want existing or the old customers or the new customers, or you want to bid equal for existing and the new customers. After completing these levers, then we can leverage the other pillars, that is insights, and then once we get to understand what are the insights, we can take the optimize, analyze accordingly. Moving on, again, so these are the couple of things which I was discovering, is that what are the key optimization levers that you need to use while we are further optimizing a performance max campaign. First is the optimized score and the auto apply recommendations. Then we have budgets and ROAS targets, insights page, audience signals, brand safety, and feed quality in the merchants. I'll discuss all these in detail. To begin with, we have the optimization score and recommendation. Now, having said that, I've just discussed that, briefly touch base on what are the optimization score recommendations. I would like you to focus that now we have like 15 plus recommendations for PMax that you can take leverage of. And there are about 6 to 7 recommendations that are feed based, now which would show you rather than checking and monitoring. Also, we have made it more easier for you that the system will automatically showcase that when you opt for that particular recommendation, that what are the suspension issues in the merchant center feed, the disapproved products. So on and whole, you need to look out for this recommendation and keep a close eye on your product feed. Moving on, we have now, this is the section we'll be discussing at a full breadth, that how you can take leverage of the insight section that is available in the Performance Max campaign, review them, analyze them, adopt, and make the changes in your Performance Max campaign accordingly. Now, the first one here is the auction insights. Now, what will happen here is these insights will help you understand how competitors are impacting your performance. Now, this is a combination of search and shopping. You can review these insights separately for search and shopping also. Moving on, we have performance drivers. Now, it is important in what this particular insight, what would it cater you is that it would give you, if the product is relevant, the product scope is good, it would help you understand and check which asset groups, and if relevant, product groups, products, product types are driving max performance changes, and hence these insights will help you with that. Again, then there is a change history insights. In these insights, you can check whether changes were made that were made in the campaign performance that were made accidentally, because some of the time what happens is during the we might accidentally click on particular change and we feel like this was not been done. So you can roll back to that also, and also you can check the changes that you made it purposely. You can check the history changes insights, and then you can review those changes as well. Then we have diagnostic insights. In these insights, again, as I've discussed before, diagnostic insights are specific insights for the feed, product feed. So, in order for you to understand that, it is imperative for you to link your Google Ads account with the Google Merchant Center, and then have a regular check and monitor those product feeds. Moving on, we have search term insights. Now, there was a question mostly asked by the practitioners or the advertisers, that do we actually get the search terms in this particular insights? The answer to that is no. Unlike the search campaign, we don't get the exact search terms and the conversions. What would it give is you the search term theme of the users, which are redirecting to the product description pages. Let's suppose a particular product was being a particular product page was being a user landed on a product page from a particular user query. It would give a theme of that, but not the exact search terms. Moving on, we have search trends. These trends and the growth opportunities are related to the products and services you should show your ads for. The upcoming industry trends, you can just review those and see how the projection is being happening in the industry, and what is the projection you could do, and do the enhancements in your performance max campaign. Moving on, we have demand forecast. Use these demand forecasts, identify if you're meeting the existing or the predicting demand or the projections demand. You can plan your promotions, you can review the landing pages and the inventory. You can take the leverage of all the demand forecast insight from this particular page. Then there is the most important and another one, most of the practitioners give n number of assets in their performance campaign. Now, the specific one we could take leverage of is the asset audience insights. While checking these insights, the advertisers can see who has the propensity to engage with the assets, and identify what are the which assets are best resonating with your audiences. You can specifically click on the assets and then see the edit assets. You could see if it is a good, it's not performing well, or the headline is not performing well, or particular creative is not performing well, and which particular asset is driving more traffic and growth opportunities. Similar to that, you can make more creatives and change the headlines accordingly, and then increase the overall performance of your PMax campaign. So, in a nutshell, these are all the insights that are available for the Performance Max campaign, and you can take leverage of. Now, here is the one of the important and one of the overlooked insight, or you could see the feature of a Performance Max campaign, which people are not much aware of, and you can take leverage of at a very large scale, is the explanation section of a Performance Max campaign. Now, most of the time, what happens is spend an ample amount of time to find a solution for a particular query, and we're not able to understand what exactly the problem is. Now, the explanation feature here will give you the snippet of the executing summary. What are the key changes, yeah, that you can take a note of before you take a note of to solve this particular query. Now, this is a snippet where you could see that where the explanation section is there, and you can compare it accordingly. Now, moving on, there we have a particular section as audience signals, which I mentioned that why the audience signals are important. Now, in a nutshell, for you to understand the insights of everything, it is important for you to give the audience signals. Once you will able to give the audience signals, then only the Google will PMax will be able to give you the insights based on that. Now, in order to explain it with an example, let's say, for example, you have observed that a particular audience is giving you more traffic, more conversions, and is more likely to convert. In that case, you can take leverage of the audience value rules. Now, what would happen here is, now let's suppose you're running a real estate business, and you feel like a particular in-market audiences is resonating more. You can amp it by giving it a certain value, such as 1.5. Now, what would happen is, you are letting the Google PMax understand, okay, this particular audiences is more valuable to you, and they would find more conversions and conversion value for you, and hence giving you the more ROI. Having said that, the audience signals, when we discuss about the audience signals, you can use the dynamic remarketing customer match list as your audience signals. In that particular audiences, you can use custom segments, such as your customer email match list, and or you can use the past buyers abandonment cart. All the data segments can be specifically for the audience signals, and you can give other signals also, but in addition to the data segments also. Now, the third one is the new customer acquisition goal. Now, again, this has been already discussed, that if your client is more interested in having acquiring more new customers, for that you can opt for a new customer acquisition goal. Now, discussing in detail is most of the moving on to this particular slide. When we discuss about the slide, the practitioners come and ask, like, still we are not happy that we are not having the control over the PMax campaign. What else you can give us or offer us? Now, here you would be happy to know that there are certain placements you can negate, there are certain brand exclusions. Now, we can negate the placements if you feel like a particular placement doesn't resonate with your brand or doesn't adhere to their brand compliances or businesses. You can add them at the account level. If you want to add some keywords to the negative list, now what you can do here is you can you at the negative list, you can at the campaign level you still need to reach out to the Google reps. At the account level you can add those. Now we have a brand exclusion where you could create a brand list in the audiences. At the tool section you would see there is a brand list. You can add those brand lists and then add it directly to particularly in this PMax campaign. Now, the most important thing when we discussed about, like, for example, you want to exclude your brand traffic because you feel like you've already been targeted or that has been organic and you want to exclude it. Now, the important thing which I would like you to notice here is that it might limit your traffic. Now, on the nutshell, there's another thing that you can take the leverage of at an account at a campaign level is that you can opt for the labels, you can exclude, and there are other exclusions as well. Moving on, we have the most important one when we discuss about this is the feed optimization. Since there's an upgrade of smart shopping campaign to PMax campaign, now the important thing was the product feed and the health. Now what I wanted to discuss here is, as you can see, that there's a shopping funnel where the total number of products were there. Now few of them got approved. Those approved, let's suppose x number of there are in stock and other are not out, others are out of stock. And out of those SKUs, those are not classified with proper titles or GTIN or MPIN and other brand guidelines which are required for the product feed. There's again a major drop off where the only specific products would be targeted, and in those specific products only few of them are being clicked. So in the nutshell you could see that you had a total number of products, and out of those total number of products, due to the disapproval or in stock availability, disavailability, or that they were not properly labeled, you only have the leverage of few products where the users could click and bring business to. So for that you need to ensure that you regularly monitor these products, run the diagnostics in the GMC as well. When we discuss about the PMax campaign, now in order to do that also, the most important thing is the Google Merchant Center account. Now you can review the Merchant Center account on a regular basis and review what are the products that have been disapproved. In order to exemplify it, I'll just show you the snippet of how the Google Merchant Center looked like. Now, as you can see, when you add particular products, the active, existing, pending, and disapproval items, towards your left, you could see the diagnostic. When you click on that, you would see the particular items are being in the red, they're active, they are expiring, they are pending, and they're disapproved, the red one. So when we discuss about the disapproved items, you can click that, and when towards the lower bottom, you could see that what are the disapproved items. Wh- Adjacent to those disapproved items, you could click and see what were the issues, why were they were being disapproved. Once you review that why they were being disapproved, you can fix them. Now, the most important thing which I want you to enable is, while you go towards the marketing section, click on the marketing section, and then you would see a couple of things that you need to enable. The most important one is to enable the dynamic remarketing as well. So in the whole, on the whole, In order for you to run the PMax also at the full potential, you need to run the product diagnostics and keep a close eye on. Though we would give you the Google optimization score recommendations would highlight that, but it was, since it is a proper core expertise of Google Merchant Center, it is important for you to run these diagnostics on a regular basis and keep a close eye on. Now, here, what is the example of how exactly you should use as ad for how exactly your ad should cater to the particular user in this particular section. Now, the first one is, you could see, I want to focus more on the titles of the SKUs and how your shopping ad should look like. First is, the image should be of a very high quality. If you feel like the image has been distorted or blurred, most of the users would not click on that particular image. First, the prominent thing that you should focus on. Second, accurate price should be given. Availability should be there, because it would help the user to understand, okay, this is available, and they can click it, hence it would increase the more CTR. Shipping rate, if it's free, fixed, flat rate, you can, it's important, and if you can give that, it is pretty important. Then is the relevant information about the product style. If you're running a fabric business, give a little bit of overview of about what exactly it is, fabric is made of, how the cut is, and everything. Then there are review and ratings. As we all know, the competitors, there is a competitive edge of a lot of competitors in the market. The review and ratings is one of the key important asks that users, while making a purchase, go for. And the last and the most important one is the title of the product. Now, title, in order to write a title of the product, now we all know there are different title ways, that is from the SEO or the SEO perspective, or the on the website. But we can make the changes in the product feed title as well. When we discuss about this particularly, the what are the best practices you can follow in order to write a title for a product is this one. Let's suppose these are the best practices. When we discuss about the particular categories, let's suppose there's apparel, there's consumable, and then electronics, seasonal, and books. There's a particular categories you run a business for. There's a recommended structure for that. First, to begin with, let's suppose I'll give you one example. Is let to begin with, first is the need to mention the brand, gender, it's male, female, that's the product type that you need to mention. Then there are further attributes that is required. In this particular case, you can give the color, the size, the material. So in the nutshell, what would happen now towards the right, also there's an example, there's a brand name, gender, a brand name, women's wear, sweater, that's black, and the size. So in the consumable ones, I'll give you an example is, that's a consumable of the capsules. Now CQ10 50 mg 60 capsules. And for the electronics, we have Samsung 88, some smart LED TV with 4K 3D covered screen. So in the nutshell, what I wanted to discuss here is, apart from your GTIN and MPIN and giving your brand, it is important to have a proper structure and the naming structure of the title of a particular product. It the whole information you can take leverage of, it would increase the CTR, and hence there is more conversions to your business. That's it. Thank you all, and I would like Pallavi also to come on the stage. Hi, Pallavi.
Thank you so much,
I'm,
everyone. I
yeah.
hope it was a really good session for you all, and most of your doubts have been cleared. If you have any doubts or queries, you can reach out to us. You can be a part of the product expert community, and that's where you'll get a chance to meet our product experts. So you can directly get in touch with them and get your doubts cleared. Uh, Hope you all have a very good day.
Thank
Take care, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Just to add on, you can review this recording again, and you can come up with the any of the questions related to that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.